Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, your lovely faces. Well, 6 brand new lawsuits have been added to Sean Diddy Combs' list of allegations. Let's jump straight into it. So, Sean Diddy Combs is accused of doing this in 6 new lawsuits, including someone who was aged 16 at the time. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs is currently in jail after being charged last month with racketeering and trafficking. His lawyer previously said he denies any claims that he did this to anyone, including under the age. Sean Diddy Combs has been hit by a new batch of lawsuits accusing him of doing this against 6 people, including a 16-year-old. The civil case filed at federal court in New York City on Monday accuses Combs, known as P. Diddy, of doing this to men and women. All were filed anonymously, 2 by women identified as Jane Doe and 4 by men identified as John Does. It comes after lawyer Tony Busby announced on the 1st of October that he was representing 120 accusers and would be filing their lawsuits against the hip-hop mogul over the coming weeks. Combs has been held at a federal jail in Brooklyn since first being arrested and criminally charged in September for what prosecutors describe as a long-running scheme of trafficking and racketeering. Now, obviously, by here, where there is a man living in North Carolina who claims that Combs did this to him when he was 16 at one of his famous white parties in Long Island's Hamptons in 1998. Now, for me there, we would normally be going like, oh, well, why was a 16-year-old at the party? We saw when Usher was sent to live with Diddy when he was like 13. Same with Justin Bieber when he spent 48 hours when he was like 14, 15. There's so many things going on. And again, P. Diddy he's such, or was, I should say, such a huge force in hip-hop in general. You know, the guy from the 90s all the way up until recently. He has been the guy you go to if you want to get, basically, if you want to make millions. That is the guy because of what he does. But obviously now all of this stuff is coming out and it's showing exactly the type of person that Diddy is. But the man alleges that this happened, it occurred during a conversation when Diddy said to him, "Don't you want to break into the business?" It's basically the casting couch for hip-hop. This is exactly what it is. Obviously, the casting couch goes back decades, where Marilyn Monroe and all that kind of stuff, where they would go in for a role and certain things would happen. Well, if you want this, you gotta do this for me. Harvey Weinstein recently got done for all of that. It's absolutely just sick that these people think they can get away with things. And for decades, they did. And it's not until, the people who actually have the courage to speak up and be like, no, I'll come forward and I'll do this. Obviously, with all the indictments against him, he's got 120 accusers from the start of this month. He's got 6 new accusers now on top. So we have no idea how many people are going to be coming forward with lawsuits against him. And seeing that, obviously, with this guy saying, don't you want to break into the business? You just know things were happening, it's just icky. And it says, obviously, the other lawsuits include allegations of this and doing this to incapacitate victims. One of the Jane Does alleged that Combs did this to her in the hotel room in 2004 and forced her friend as well to perform acts on him. And also said that he would get them both 6 feet under if they did not comply with his demands. A statement from the law firm representing the alleged victims said, "We will let the allegations in the filed complaints speak for themselves, and will work to see that justice is done. We expect to be filing many more cases over the next several weeks, naming Mr. Combs and others as defendants as we continue to gather evidence and prepare the filings." So obviously with this by here, we are going to get so many names and so many brand new people doing lawsuits. It's going to be insane. But with that part by there, several weeks we are going to name Mr. Combs and others as defendants as we continue to gather evidence. So with that by there, there's currently now more stuff coming out regarding Ashton Kutcher and how if he's doing something, to make himself look good to the press and to the world, he's doing something horrible behind the scenes. And I saw this little video where people were talking about things, and I was like, you know what? This needs to be looked into a little bit more. But obviously, Ashton Kutcher, he's had his whole thing with Danny Masterson and with Mila Kunis, his wife, about how they first met and all this kind of stuff. But seeing that they're saying that we are going to name others as defendants, I can personally see that we're probably going to get most of his entourage, possibly his security, and people who were at the house who knew what was going on. That's just them at the moment. For the list of celebrities, you know what? I think we're just going to have to put down somewhere, make a file and just put all the names of who we may think is going to be on it. And then obviously, Combs' lawyers, they have come out and they reply to what's been going on. The press conference and the 1-800 number that preceded today's barrage of filings were clear attempts to garner publicity. Well, to be honest with you, if you are suing one person who is a billionaire and they are, literally in hip-hop, in the music world, one of the top figures, it's going to get publicity. You want to get that publicity shown onto these filings. You just do. Because that way then, you're going to have so many more people looking into it and being like, right, okay, right, we need to look at AZ and, and all this kind of stuff. But one thing that we'll talk about anyway, actually, because it does get by here. Mr. Combs' legal team have full confidence in the fact, their legal defences, and the integrity of the judicial process. So, with this part by here, this is going to court next May. We're going to see people now here who are going to be like, oh, okay, I've been chosen to be on the jury. You are going to have no one on that jury who doesn't know what's happened, who doesn't know what's going on, because this is such a big, big case. The Johnny Depp situation was a little bit different because, again, even though it was plastered all over the news and things, it wasn't lawsuits like this. It wasn't things that, oh, this has happened. This person said this. This person's filing a lawsuit. So is this guy. So is that woman. Nothing like this has been seen before. But this is going to be a lot bigger than any of those court cases ever. Just because of the amount of accusers who are alleging things that happened to them. And these people who will go on the jury, they're going to be like, yeah. In the back of their mind, they're going to be thinking, he's guilty. All these people come forward. That's it. So it's going to be interesting to see how far this actually does go. That's even if he survives until May for this court trial. You never know. And in court, the truth will prevail. That Mr. Combs has never done this to anyone. Adult, man, woman, or kid. And he pled not guilty last month, to a 3-count indictment, charging him with using his business empire, including record label Bad Boy Entertainment, to transport male and female workers across state lines to take part in all of this. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out within the next couple of weeks. I think everyone is just going to be floored by how many lawsuits will be coming out. I don't think none of us are prepared for how many is going to come out. For all we know, it could be like 500, 600, 700 people. Imagine that. 700 lawsuits. Because again, Tony Busby, he said that when they put out this announcement that we're looking for people, they had over 3,500 people say that Diddy did this, Diddy did that. It's a bit like the South Park episode where Satan's like, well, I want this. Did Diddy do it? Diddy did it. It's so many things like that. It's like, holy hell. But guys, let me know down below what you think about all of this. Do you think that we're going to be surprised? Who do you think is going to be named as defendants in these future lawsuits? If you are new, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for future updates because we will be continuing with the Diddy scandal, and I'll see you all soon.